Hi, my name is Emily, I'm 22 and I'm going to read you a story. I wrote this story when I was about 11 in year 6. It's in this very well decorated notebook. Last time I read you a story I was 17 years old, so it's been a while. And to be honest, that story was probably a bit more interesting than this one, I'm not going to lie. This story doesn't have a title because I didn't give it one, so we'll call it a short adventure because it really is very short. It's 5 pages long and it's got 3 chapters. I think we were given a prompt for this, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was a key. So basically, a key or a coin or a shiny object, and you got to write what happens when the characters touch this key, coin, shiny object thing. So here goes. Chapter 1, The Forgotten Classroom. It was dark in the forgotten classroom. Sunlight peeped through the moth-eaten curtains and dust hung in the air. But despite this, a boy sat at one of the uneven-legged desks, staring blankly. His name was David, and no one knew he existed, partly because the classroom was unused by the school, partly because he could disappear. They only ever saw his shadow. "I dare you to go in," whispered a voice. Then David vanished, leaving only stirring dust. "Girls, coming!" "Not until you've gone in." Susan was trying to persuade Aurelie to go into the forgotten classroom, but she didn't want to. They were very imaginative girls and always wanted to try something new. They were the first girls to go to the door of the forgotten classroom. "Oh, okay then, but give me a torch," demanded Aurelie. Aurelie had been given this name by her uncle, who had been to the land of Oki and rescued a princess with the name. "I haven't got it on me," lied Susan, taking it out of her pocket and holding it behind her back. "Yes, you have. It's behind your back." Susan gave up and gave Aurelie the torch. As soon as they stepped into the room, Aurelie, who was asthmatic, began a fit of coughing because it was so incredibly dusty. "Get my inhaler, Sue," she spluttered. "Oh, never mind," as Susan wasn't even looking for it. She rummaged in her pocket and took 3 puffs of her inhaler. "Hey, look at this." "What?" Aurelie shined the torch to where Susan was pointing. Suddenly the whole room filled with light and the 2 girls disappeared. Chapter 2, Oki. Aurelie and Susan were spinning at extra high speed through a whirl of colour, faster, until both girls were screaming their heads off. It was the worst experience even Susan, who had travelled at incredible speed on the back of a motorbike, had ever encountered. Suddenly there was a huge jerk and both girls hit the ground with such force that if they had landed any harder they would have made a hole in the ground. "Where are we? How am I meant to know?" Aurelie sighed. She hadn't quite got used to this sort of attitude from Susan. Something tapped Susan. She whipped round. Aurelie was talking to the ghost of the forgotten classroom. Except he wasn't a ghost, he was an actual human being. She stood away from the conversation for a few seconds, before it was ended by Aurelie stepping back exclaiming, "No!" "Well, then you leave me no choice," said the tear-stained face of the boy, taking Aurelie's hand. There was a cloud of smoke that blocked out the view of where she had been dragged. Chapter 3, The Journey Back. "Get off me!" Aurelie ran to the back of the room. She threw her inhaler at the wall and it sank through. She ran after it. After, she had been glad she did it, but at the moment it was quite the opposite. It felt like going through a tube of rubber. She squeezed herself through using all her strength to get through the thing that was pressing against her at all sides. Finally, she got thrown out of the tube into the forgotten classroom to see Susan gazing down at her, hands on hips. Aurelie picked herself up and walked proudly out of the room. "I have told you before not to go into that classroom," scolded the girl's teacher. "Can you just explain to me why you did?" Aurelie and Susan hung their heads. "Where's your inhaler?" I lost it." Susan thought, but didn't say. And if she hadn't, we wouldn't be here for you to screech like a maniac at. "Out of my sight." Oh well, thought Aurelie as they left. At least it was all worth it. So basically that story had a beginning and an end and no middle. However, the teacher liked it. She said it was a fantastic story. She said it's full of action, but still flows and follows on well. Apparently I am a gifted writer. That being said, I'm glad to have improved. I hope you enjoyed how bad I am at reading aloud. That was a journey. That was a journey.